morning. Welcome back to another episode of The Cure for Cowardice. Now, anger issues are something that a lot of us struggle with, and some of us more than others. I would put myself in that camp that struggles more than others. And it's something that I've kind of grappled with most of my life. And for a while, I was able to repress it, but then the problem was when it would come out in situations that didn't really call for it, and it would come out kind of all at once, which obviously is no bueno. So what I started doing was drugs, and that helped for a bit. When I was not sober, it was a lot easier to let things slide, and a lot easier to be like, does it really matter? Is this really something to get upset over? In the grand scheme of things, probably not. Now, obviously, that's also no bueno. And now that I have made the decision that I am going to be sober for a bit, I am having these problems with my anger again. And last night, I was making mac and cheese, and I was draining the water after cooking it into the sink. And instead of getting the strainer, I was like, I don't want to dirty another dish. So I was trying to use the lid to drain it, which I've done, countless times. But this particular pot has a really good seal on it, so it wasn't quite draining as much as I would like. And long story short, I ended up accidentally dumping all of the noodles into the sink. Now, mind you, I already had meat that was going into it cooked, and I did not have enough mac at home to start over. And I was so mad that I dumped these noodles in the sink that I dropped the pot into the sink, and it ended up breaking a plate that was sitting in there. So now I'm even more mad. And so anyway, long story short, I go to the store, I get some more mac, and I come back and I make everything. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, what good did my lashing out do, really? Because either way, the noodles are in the sink, That's not going to change. So I got mad. I reacted out of anger and ended up creating more of a mess, and now we're down a plate, and it was one of the nicer ones that we have. So that's 2 L's right there. And then, because I'm so mad, the store's only like 5 minutes away, but while I'm heading over there, I have 2 separate incidents while I'm heading there and heading back, I have an incident each time where another driver or another person pissed me off. And mind you, they probably weren't really doing anything wrong, but at that moment, it felt like they were the dumbest person in the universe, and that I had to deal with them. So I'm sitting in my car, fucking screaming. They can't hear me, thankfully. But, again, what good does that do? Like, again, the noodles are already in the sink. Like, that's not going to change. And so, I kind of reached a point where I was like, well, my anger in this situation is literally only furthering the problem. And instead of calming down, putting the pot down in a way that does not break a plate, and immediately going and getting the noodles, I did everything that I did. And then when my buddy came in to see what was going on, he offered to help me clean it up because he saw that I obviously dumped the noodles in the sink. And that made me even more mad because it was my mistake, it was my screw up, and I would be the one that should take care of it. And here he is just trying to help, and now I'm being an asshole. So again, it's like the noodles are already in the sink. And so just the way that I'm reacting to this situation just makes it worse and worse and worse and worse. And it kind of reached a point where I was like, well, I can be mad all I want, but if I keep reacting in the way that I am, I'm just going to keep getting more mad because I'm going to keep making dumb mistakes, and the situation is just going to get progressively worse. And so I think there's a certain energy that being angry gives us when we're trying to get something done, and it's okay to harness that. It's good to harness that because, I mean, the first rule of entrepreneurship, use what you got. And it's like, if you're mad, use it. If you're sad, use it. But at the same time, it needs to be controlled. There's no good that comes from dropping the pot in the sink. There's no good that comes from being a dick to your buddy who's trying to help. Again, the noodles are already in the sink. I know I keep saying that, but I'm really trying to just hammer it home for myself because this is something that I've struggled with a lot throughout my life. And if I could just get to the point where, while I'm sober, while I have a clear mind, I feel the anger, I recognize it, and I don't react, then I think it's going to solve a lot of problems for myself. And so, I guess all this to say, if the noodles are already in the sink, don't throw a temper tantrum about it. Just go get some more goddamn noodles. Anyway, that's all I got for now. But I am sure that I will have something else soon. Catch y'all on the flip side.